Alrighty, fellow travelers, welcome back to Adventures of a Traveling Dawn. My name is Benjamin O, and today we are going to be doing a deep dive into the hotel scene here in Bar Harbor, Maine. If you're visiting Acadia National Park, you're going to want to watch this video because we're going to go deep into what makes the hotel scene work here in Bar Harbor, Maine, and of course, how much it costs to stay here in Bar Harbor. So Bar Harbor, Maine, of course, is a northeast gem here, and it is the gateway to Acadia National Park. And of course, there's plenty of places here on Mount Desert Island to stay, but really, if you want to get into the hub of it, Bar Harbor is where you really want to stay, particularly because it's where all the shopping is, all the nightlife, the restaurants, even like the tour boats for like the whale watching and stuff like that. If you really want to delve deep into Acadia National Park and Mount Desert Island, Bar Harbor is a great hub to really stay. And of course, I brought with me a good friend of mine, Mr. Stephen Costin. Buddy, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. So Stephen owns several different places around here in Bar Harbor, and I think off Bar Harbor, right?
Right now I'm working on a place in Belfast, but all I've got right now for rentable rooms is in Bar Harbor.
There we go, gotcha. And Stephen, are you from Bar Harbor, Maine?
I am, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
and what got you into the hotel business?
My grandfather owned a motel from the 70s until 2010, and I worked there when I was a kid, and I continued to work there after he sold it, and I just always liked the business, and I eventually purchased my own motel.
Sweet, sweet. Now, how many places do you currently own in Bar Harbor itself?
9.
9, gotcha.
Yep.
And the one we're standing at here is the Sandbar Cottage. Was this your initial one?
No, Sandbar Cottage was my third one.
Gotcha,
yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so we're going to kind of go around to different places that he owns, and we're going to go to like 3 different levels of, shall we say, price and kind of amenities when it comes to staying here in Bar Harbor, because there are places that are very expensive here in town, but there are also places that can be within budget as well. So we're going to kind of go over just a few examples, and then we'll also kind of like showcase other places later on in the video that sort of kind of match that may not be part of his properties, but are here in Bar Harbor, Maine. So as we said, there's about 3 different levels of kind of like price ranges here in Bar Harbor, Maine. And Stephen is really going to go over that. Stephen, what are the 3 different levels, kind of like from like low end to high end,
Yep.
middle, sort of the ranges, and then also how it works with the seasons?
So there's economy, mid-scale, and luxury is kind of how we would define it in the lodging industry, and that can mean different things. Like luxury can be anything from a high-end bed and breakfast to a resort, and economy is generally like your roadside motel style property. And mid-scale, there are not a lot of franchised properties in Bar Harbor, which is cool. They're almost all independently owned and operated, but mid-scale would be something along the lines of a Hampton Inn, something like that.
And so for economy, what would be your price range throughout the height of the season, which is about 4th of July through Labor Day?
About the highest economy would be into the 300s. If it's a really busy day, it might get into the mid to upper 300s. You know, a typical summer day, it might be low to mid 300s. So the summertime is on the fairly high side, even at the economy level, but in the shoulder seasons in the spring and the fall, you can find a motel room in Bar Harbor, you know, anywhere from $99 to mid 100s to maybe 200 once you get into June, you know, things like that. But
and what are examples that both you own and others from around that are the economy class?
Well, so I'm more speaking on just in downtown Bar Harbor, so that's kind of another it's cheaper the further you get from downtown Bar Harbor.
Right.
So like if you stay at an economy style motel property out Route 3, even in the summertime, you can find properties that are only in the 100s, you know, maybe $200 a night. Whereas in town, the floor kind of gets set, you know, low 300s in the summertime. There might be a few exceptions to that. Yeah, so there's also the downtown versus the slightly out of town. Is kind of another.
And what are motels like the economy places that you personally own?
Oh, right. Okay. So downtown, I have the Anchorage Motel and the Main Street Motel. And then there are some other economy-style motels downtown. The Cromwell Harbor Motel is a nice little motel down by the ball field right at the edge of downtown. The Villager Motel, they actually have a swimming pool and they serve breakfast, so although it's a motel, it's a little more on the mid-scale side in terms of amenities, but the Villager Motel is a very nice motel right in the middle of downtown. And they have an annex building that is pretty affordable. I think even in the summertime, that one might cap out in the 200s. So the Villager is a good option. Yeah.
All right, now, so for the mid-class hotels, what would be examples of those and the price range for that?
Sure. So one that I own would be Little Fig Hotel. I recently renovated that. It used to be called the Quimby House. Little Fig is kind of design-centric. Each room it's individually furnished. We have a lot of cool contemporary artwork in there. We serve a grab-and-go breakfast. It's limited on the amenities side. We have a little fire pit where you can hang out, but we don't have resort-type amenities, so that helps keep the price down a little bit. It's a modern hotel with modern decor and updated furnishings and, fresh paint and things like that, but it's not going to have, the bar and restaurant and things like that kind of drive things to more the upscale side of things. There's a lot of mid-scale lodging in Bar Harbor. Another one I own, Bar Harbor Manor. The Bar Harbor Grand is a very nice, what I would consider a mid-scale hotel that's right downtown. And then a little bit more outside of town, like a mile or so from downtown out Route 3. There's several of them. The Acadia Inn's a nice one. There's quite a lot of them.
And as for the higher end kind of like echelon of what you're looking at, what are examples and price ranges for ones that you own and others around town?
So the highest price rooms that I have in the peak season top out in the 600s, and those would be rooms with ocean views. I own a property called Bass Cottage in Ulacana, and we have some ocean view rooms there. Those would max out like in the 600s. And then we have these individual cottages here at Sandbar Cottage, which are in very high demand. People really just find them very charming and cute and cozy. And it's a great location here. So those top out in the 600s in the summertime. And then honestly, at the high end, it's interesting because you have so many different things. Like the Harborside Resort across the street, they actually have suites you can book with hot tubs that are like right overlooking the water, full panoramic ocean view. I don't know off the top of my head how much those go for, but I mean, those are really cool. There's the Balance Rock Inn is a cool place. They have high-end dining with views of the ocean. They have a swimming pool right on the shore path, which is a nice little walk along the ocean. Oceanfront property. At the high end, it's kind of the sky's the limit. There's all kinds of different suites, rooms, views, amenities, dining options,
Yeah, so there's so much to see here in Bar Harbor, Maine. But with hotel-wise, it's really cool. So we're going to go ahead and go to a couple different properties and really kind of dive into them. And then we'll just kind of like showcase some other places as well. All right, so we're in I think this is the third floor of the Sandbar Cottage. Is this the third floor of the Sandbar Cottage?
Yep, so this is the top floor, the third floor of what's called the Boscobel building. And it's an old converted Gilded Era cottage. It's been converted into a bed and breakfast. It's actually on the National Register of Historic Places, so it's a pretty cool building built in the 1800s.
Cool. And this room is really nice. So huge, king-size bed here.
Yep.
Just a couple of really nice chairs, TV, and then a full bathroom in there, which is really cool. What would be the price of this particular one?
Obviously, it varies based on the time of year, but this could go anywhere in the off season, from $200-ish in the shoulder seasons to $400 to $500 in the summer. This would be one of our more expensive rooms in my fleet.
All right, so here at the Sandbar Cottage, this is kind of like the top of the line room. And Stephen, tell me about this room here.
So this is what's called a garden cottage. It's actually its own little building, and people think these are just the cutest thing. And you get your own private porch outside. You can eat your breakfast on your own porch. You kind of get your own little garden area and king bed, bathroom, mini fridge, fireplace. You know, it's got all the amenities of a hotel room, but it's kind of its own little contained individual unit. So it's very private, and a lot of people like to book these for special occasions, anniversaries. You know, it's very romantic, very cozy, a lot of fun.
Okay, so now this is kind of a cool feature of Sandbar Cottage in particular, and this is, Stephen, you were talking about the difference between kind of like the high end and the middle end?
Yeah, so one of the differences I think between midscale and luxury, some of the differences amenities, but also some of the differences kind of the personalized experience and the attention to detail and things like that kind of elevate the experience. So one thing that we do at some of our luxury properties, like Sandbar Cottages, we have these raised beds where we'll grow herbs, and we'll incorporate them into our breakfasts or the drinks we make at our patio bar. So we might grow mint and then incorporate it into one of our signature cocktails. You know, things like that just kind of elevate the experience.
Now that's attention to detail. Okay, so we've come now to the second of kind of like the high-end places. And Stephen, what is this place called?
So these are two separate cottages. This one's called Ulacana, and that one through the trees there is called Bass Cottage. We kind of run them together as one bed and breakfast property.
Gotcha. And so is there, like, these look actually rather old. Is there a history behind this?
Yeah, so this is actually the site of the first summer cottage developed in Bar Harbor. This little area we're on is called Birch Point, and a guy by the name of, I believe, Alphaeus Hardy built a cottage here in the 1800s, and it was later expanded upon and developed into the present building here. But these buildings both have a very rich history. They go back to the Gilded Era, which a lot of the Gilded Era Bar Harbor cottages were destroyed in 1947 by the Great Fire of '47. So these are two survivors here.
Cool. So let's go ahead and check out these rooms, shall we? Okay, so we're now inside the Ulacana. I'm going to tell you right now, this hotel is gorgeous inside. And it's historical, so, you know, there's not much that can be replicated here, but my God. And like, so this room particularly, Stephen, what do we got going
on? So this room is called Poppy. All the rooms here are named after flowers, and it has a queen bed and kind of a separate sitting area with a little fireplace. And personally, I really love this this window, which I don't exactly know the history of this, but based on looking at it, I'm 99% sure this probably used to be an exterior entrance out to either a porch or a patio, and it was closed in to make this little sitting area, and you have this nice little doorway, and this beautiful natural light comes through. This is one of my favorite rooms in any of my properties.
And what is the cost for this room generally?
So again, it's a range. In the shoulder seasons, you know, it might be $200 to $300, and then in the summer, this would be $400 to $500. All
right, so now we're in the other half of the Ulacana Bass Cottage kind of combo that we got going on here. And while the rooms here are fantastic, what's very, very unique here is their dining room. Stephen, tell me about this.
So this used to be an exterior porch, and at some point in the building's long history, it was glassed in, and it became this just really gorgeous dining room with these really lovely large windows and all this natural light. and people just love this room. This is really a highlight of the experience for a lot of people who stay here, is eating the breakfast every day in here.
All right, so now we are down to the mid-class hotels, and we are here in, this is a Little Fig Hotel. Tell me about this, Stephen.
So Little Fig Hotel I purchased a few years ago, and we did a full renovation, and it's I would call it a mid-scale boutique hotel. Kind of part of what differentiates it from a luxury level hotel is we don't do the full breakfast here. We do more of a grab-and-go breakfast, and that allows that keeps the price point down a little bit. We also have some rooms that are on the smaller side with just queen beds for people that are either traveling alone or, couples. That can bring the price point down a little bit. We do have some larger rooms, suites with separate bedrooms that are good for families. We did, at this particular property, we made it pretty design centric. We did the individually furnished rooms. No two rooms are exactly the same. So that's kind of cool about it. But it's definitely it's a mid-scale property, middle of the road price point.
And that price point would be what, around 3 to 5?
So in the summer, for a non-suite room, the suites are a little different because they're multiple bedrooms. They can accommodate more people. But for a standard hotel room with either one king bed or one queen bed, this property would top out at the very height of the season in the 400s, high 300s, low 400s range.
All right, next stop, economy. That's my class right now. Now, before we get to the economy class, I did want to give a big shout out to this particular inn behind me, the Inn on Mount Desert. This is the one I associate with Stephen because this is the one that when I first met him, this was kind of, and this still is really the flagship. And Stephen, tell us a little bit quick about the Inn on Mount Desert.
So the Inn on Mount Desert was built in 2018. So it's a relatively new building, but it was designed to kind of express the look and feel of an old summer cottage. And it has 31 rooms, but it has more of a bed and breakfast kind of amenity set and layout. We serve the full breakfast. We have a beautiful garden. We have a bocce court. We have a billiards room with a pool table. We do have an on-site innkeeper who lives here. So it's very homey, but also it's very modern being a new building. So it's kind of an interesting hybrid.
And I would say probably one of my personal favorites because I've actually gone in depth and actually looked in the rooms before. Really, really nice spot. All right, so this is now a budget level hotel. This is going to be like the final level that we're going to go over. But just because it's budget level doesn't mean it's not comfortable. As you can see, Mr. Stephen Costin is rather comfy in his little chair here.
It's very comfortable.
Stephen, what is this motel that we're at?
So this is the Anchorage Motel. It's right in downtown Bar Harbor on Mount Desert Street. And this is, of my 9 properties in downtown Bar Harbor, this is my least expensive option. And this one tops out at the very height of the season in the mid to high 300s. But most of the time, it's in the 1 or 200, 150, 250 type range. You can get a room here at the beginning of the season in May or at the end of October. You might be able to score a room here for $99. So this is a pretty good option for budget travel in downtown Bar Harbor for sure.
And I always highly recommend, if you're going to come to Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park, come in May or come in October. October, you have the fall leaves. May, it's still really cool. It hasn't warmed up yet. It might be rainy, but most of the tourists haven't come yet. So definitely think about coming here during the shoulder seasons. All right, guys, so those are the 3 different kind of like styles of hotels that you have here in Bar Harbor. Of course, there's many, many more within the town, and we're actually gonna go check out a couple more special places that I wanna showcase that is not connected to Steven. So this is where Steve and I will part ways. We will continue on, but Steven, I wanna thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother, for taking me around and explaining to everybody here. And of course, when we were going over it, particularly with the mid-level and the luxury, it seemed like it's really not much the place in the rooms, but more the amenities than anything that really up the price.
It's the amenities and the attention to detail and the level of personalized service, I would say, are kind of what sets it apart.
There you go. That's from a hotel owner. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and continue on. I got a couple more places to show you, but Steven, thanks again, brother.
Thank you
very much. So another hotel I personally wanted to point out to you guys here in Bar Harbor is here on Holland Street. We actually came, it's not too far from the Little Fig Inn, right off of Cottage, but this is the Queen Anne's Revenge, and this is a beautiful inn. It's like Queen Anne's Revenge Inn and Suites. So it has the main inn, it has like a secondary building that has a rum bar connected to it, which is really, really cool. The whole garden front is absolutely amazing. And then in the back, they have like, I believe, all the guest suites and stuff, like their own individual units, and it's just the aesthetics of the place is fantastic. You go inside, the lobby looks really cool. It's got this golden handle, like golden hand for a handle to open up. It's like kind of creepy, but at the same time very inviting. I did look online, and it's kind of, I would say, mid-tier to luxury, somewhere kind of at the upper end of mid, lower luxury when it comes to the price point, because it can be in the height of the season anywhere from about $350 for standard all the way to about $850 for the 2-room guest suite. Although right now during October, I saw some of the prices for being like as low as $150 for a standard queen, which is not too bad here in town. But it is away from the main part of downtown. So I definitely recommend checking it out. I wasn't able to get into any of the rooms. I didn't have anything open at this time, but it is still a really, really cool, and it's a much quieter hotel compared to being down in the main part of downtown. Alright guys, and for the grand finale, we are here right off of the water here in Bar Harbor, and behind me is the gem, the jewel of Bar Harbor when it comes to hotels. It is the most expensive place that I know of as well, and that is the Bar Harbor Inn Resort and Spa. This place is absolutely gorgeous. It's gone through a lot of renovation over the last decade or so, and they just keep adding to it, and it's just, the amenities are absolutely fantastic. First and foremost, just the foyer is really, really nice. The rooms, the estate rooms, even like some of the economy rooms are absolutely fantastic. I know like up here on the main part of the inn, because there's like 3 different buildings, there's like 151 rooms. This is the big Mac Daddy of Bar Harbor when it comes to hotels. But like these rooms here, they are very, very spacious. Some of them have, you know, great views out onto the water. Now they do range up, I know like these like duplex rooms up top, those range up to probably close to about 1,000 a night, because they can fit probably, you know, about 8 people, like a family of 8 and whatnot. But they are absolutely fantastic, comfortable rooms. It's got a amazing pool, like an infinity pool, the only infinity pool on the island that I am aware of. Absolutely gorgeous. The restaurants that they have are amazing. You have, of course, down here outside is the Terrace Grill, which is a great spot to kind of get a great, just nice view, have a quick drink and a snack, maybe sit by the fire if it's a cold fall day, if you're here during the shoulder season. And then, of course, the Oasis Lounge and the Reading Room restaurant that they have on the main floor up there is just absolutely phenomenal. You talk about these massive bay windows that you can just kind of see all of the entire part of this Frenchman's Bay is just, it's the most beautiful hotel at least within Bar Harbor, to me personally. It is massive, but absolutely, absolutely fantastic. If you have the money to stay here, highly recommend it. Even if you do one of the economy rooms during the shoulder season, you can probably get it down as low as maybe about $300 a night, and you'll have access to everything. And I will say also, it is a spa. So remember that it is the Harbor and Resort and Spa, and that spa has gone through a lot of renovation over the last few years. When I worked here in 2020, it hadn't gone through that yet. Now it's like, I went through all the different treatment rooms, like the couples massage room, this one room that has like a jet bubble bath in it. You have the a sauna downstairs. There is just all these different rooms you could kind of go and get all these different treatments, and it's just absolutely amazing. And it's just the whole aesthetics of it is just, it's so well done. It's so well done. You are getting your money's worth when you come to the Bar Harbor Inn Resort and Spa. So, but yeah, this is the Big Mac Daddy when it comes to hotels in Bar Harbor, Maine. All right, guys, so that is going to conclude this ultimate hotel guide to Bar Harbor, Maine. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you want to stay at any of Steven's places, they do have a website called staybarharbor.com. I'll leave a link in the description for there. Also, if you want to stay at Queens and Revenge, I'll leave their link, as well as Bar Harbor Inn or any of the Witham hotels, because that's part of another local hotel mogul, which is under David Witham. I will leave links in the description for all of those places. So, but I hope this was educational for you guys. Next time you come up to Bar Harbor, Maine, if you're looking for a place particularly to stay in town, so you can kind of enjoy the town, particularly the nightlife. You know, you don't want to drink and drive, particularly if you're going out to have a nice cocktail or a couple of beers somewhere. You want to stay in town. This is how you do it. These are the different places, and these are the price points that you kind of go for, just depending on your budget. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this particular journey. If you like the video, give it a big old thumbs up, and of course, share it with your friends. If you know that they are coming up to Bar Harbor, Maine, share this video with them, just so that they can kind of get all the information that they need. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. I deeply appreciate it. And of course, I deeply appreciate all the support I've gotten so far from all my Patreons. And if you would like to help me out a little bit more with these videos and keep these videos going, I do have a Patreon account as well as a Buy Me a Coffee account. I will leave those in the links as well. So, but anyway, guys, until we meet again, peace out. Have a great night.